Then I go back to Zoom Hell.
The Z down at the bottom.
Or you and Zoom. Right? Thank you. You'll get me trained eventually.
God bless you.
Oh, not been one of those days, you know. Had to put a dog down. Never a fun time.
Things slowing down at work. Not a chance. Are you still moving?
Yes.
Yes.
Open and getting deliveries and trying to make deliveries.
Right. I live
Brandon's. If we decided, okay, that it needs to condition it on receiving stamps.
plan approval.
Protect, said, yeah, I'm not too comfortable. Yeah, so I want to get the stamp.
Yeah.
That wasn't happy, but that's life.
It just looks a little oversized to me. It looks a little oversized to me. I'm not disapproving of the concept of putting a John out there, but looks like there's a lot more than that.
It's pretty big.
24 feet tall. Yeah.
And restrooms.
Well, I don't even think the restroom is an ADA.
Well, that would have to be ADA.
It would have to be.
Yes.
It doesn't appear that there's what's required, a 5-foot diameter circumference or a 6-foot diameter circumference for ADA.
I'm not sure. Look what he had, 4 foot. North and south. And but, I don't know why he needs that. I like the look of it. I thought it was attractive. But
Yeah.
it's, I think, a little too large.
2 people wrote in opposed.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
And of course, hearing from a few, just a few, South Shore people who are shocked. Might have said, one wrote, well, I don't think the law was fault in approving this. And if it was, the law needs changed. You know, where were you when? Hello, Lori.
Let's go. Oh. William?
Hello, Marina.
Hi, Jimmy.
It's buoys on the big orange show. Saturday. Brother.
That's pretty good.
Huh?
Sounds pretty
I
good.
can do it. It's good.
How much?
Hello, Catherine.
10 a quart.
No. Please.
You want me to drop it off?
Yeah, as long as you're gonna be in the neighborhood, and you are, as long as you're in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
that'd be
I've
great.
got my neighbor. Vince usually.
Yeah.
Liquor store.
My boots on your football sleeve, God bless you. Yep.
Switching it up. Nobody wants to sit next to one.
You didn't want to sit back, really.
I can. How come you're better than mine?
No choice.
They're all different, aren't they?
I will-
I'm joking, I'm joking.
Who are you?
Hey,
You know, you are just such a dynamic person.
that's right.
If you wish to speak, if you would sign in, there's a paper on the table.
First time everything's spent here.
I know. Yeah.
Some giant.
I have to say, your boozy Easter baskets.
Yeah.
Were, and people were thrilled that like, I didn't have to do anything. They thought I had taken the idea.
Oh, really?
I was like, no, I just popped it in.
Yeah.
I did.
It's easy.
No, they were, and people loved them.
Actually, an idea.
And it was a nice selection, and I was there at big quarries. So
Yeah, we went through and just picked like little,
I think the favorite one was the one with the pickles, the moonshine.
Yeah. Those are cool.
I bought those for yes. I do. I've been buying those. You probably ran out
Oh, I don't pay attention.
for me
We do
buying
them
them.
as advertisers.
Mhm. Yeah.
Orders. But it was good things.
Maybe lemon berries.
Oh, yeah. Cherries are good in my hands.
Yeah.
I heard that said.
Mhm. Weather was good this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this week, compared to last week, isn't so wonderful, but I'll take fifties and sixties. Oh,
Me too. I don't like the 80 degrees, not that I'm.
80 was a long year.
Yeah.
I don't like it hot.
That's wrong there. We're gonna have 64 for God's willing.
Yeah, that's why I don't like going to Florida. I do it for my husband.
Yeah. Hopefully, they don't get it Christmas.
You're also the second for late, right?
Okay,
You like it?
if we do,
Yeah.
think of the elevator, I don't care.
Mhm. There's no pros or cons to it. This.
Those would be, it's so quiet.
Yeah. It's true. And view.
Oh, right, and view, obviously, but they never gonna hurt us.
Mhm.
I'm glad we got it. No, we
And it's great. Yes. Were you thinking of that for the place next week?
Mhm.
You're welcome to come over. And
Yeah, I'm not taking it.
You know, Peter and Grace Allen.
Mhm.
They have bought the place across the street from them, the Graham's house, for its protection, and they're thinking of doing that.
Same thing.
So you can look over the top of their house.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Ready for this weekend? Be a good time.
Yeah, that. Put it 6 inches and I put 35 fire counter range.
You showed me.
Well, I took it off the sound and it's like a couple of because transmission during that big.
Oh, yeah.
So then I had to buy these pivot. With raising another problem. And now it's got a panic.
All right, it's time. Magic hours upon us. We do have a quorum. First time we've had a full board in months. Since we have full board. Janine will not be voting, but she is encouraged to ask questions and voice her opinions. The meeting was advertised, published in the Wayne Times and posted on the village website. Meeting has been called to order at 7. First order is to review the minutes from the previous meeting. So.
I'm voting for acceptance. April 3rd minutes.
Second,
What's, I'll second.
I can vote, so I can second it.
okay. Dee, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mrs. Beretta?
I wasn't here, so I can't vote.
Ditto. Yes.
Yes,
And I agree, it's somewhat unanimous, as well as we're here. Okay. If you're in the audience and you wish to speak up, I'm asking people to sign in. If you don't wish to speak, that's okay. Okay. Our first one up is the panel site plan for Teresa Griffith. And Teresa, if you could step up. When we last saw you, we did ask that you have a window included in that.
Yes, we do now have it included. It's next to the man door.
And Kevin confirmed that with me, so. Are there any other changes?
No,
Members, any questions?
Oh,
I do not have any.
No.
All right, we had public input at the last meeting, so we don't need to do that today. Okay, is there a motion to approve or not approve?
motion approved.
I'll second that.
All right. Mr. Walker, how do you vote?
Yes. Yes.
Kathy?
Again, I wasn't here, so I'm not,
I will vote yes.
Yes.
And I vote yes also. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Looking forward to that addition there.
It should be noted that approval includes the addition of the window.
So no. Thank you. Okay. This time, second is clothing. Are you here?
Where's that? Joel, you're on.
You'll need to unmute yourself.
Can they unmute?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Well, yeah, now.
Okay. Well, I stopped Sunday and fortunately people seem to be home with their dogs. So I took the liberty of walking around the property.
Okay.
Would you like to tell us about your plans?
Well, it's just it's a garage with a great room behind it, with a kitchen in that. And then we're going to change the family room that's currently here on stilts into a master bedroom, kind of as the plans show.
Have you heard from DEC? Yeah.
No, I called them today and I had to leave a message, so I haven't heard from them yet. So I have to still get their blessing on putting in an addition with the, not approaching the wetlands or swamp.
Board members, questions?
Are we being asked to approve this or
This is
just a preliminary?
this is preliminary.
Okay.
Well, they're actually stamped plans, so that's pretty much the design. We're not going to change it.
Appreciate that. We will not give a final approval until we have a DEC.
Sure.
So
No
what's
problem.
really clear to me whether any portion of the new structure is going to be on stilts. Is it all slab?
No, the garage will not be on stilts. There's gonna be a base, a block wall behind that and then filled for the garage. The only part is half of the structure will be on stilts, as is already there.
The rear half, yeah, okay.
The rear half, exactly.
This is on.
And then, looks like from the garage door, stairway down to the backyard.
There's only an exit on the garage door. It's gonna have to be just walk down the yard.
Oh.
There's nothing that accesses underneath from the garage.
Foundation you're looking at.
Yeah, it'd just be foundation and then down to the stilts.
Yeah, I went there today. This is Kathy Braga. I went there today and no one was home. The siding, that siding is gonna be awfully hard to match, but are you gonna try to do the best you can to match it, or are you gonna try to do something different?
We're gonna do the best we can to match it, but we're thinking about putting some stone in the front. We're still depending on what everything costs at the end. But we may do some stone across the front to break up the siding, but we're gonna match the siding the best we can.
Okay, and I also noticed you are very close to the wetlands and you have not received any information from the DEC, correct?
I called them today and left a message to get a letter, basically saying that we're not gonna encroach the wetlands.
Now, is there a distance? I'm not sure. I don't know if Kevin's on the line or not. Is there a distance from the wetlands to the, that was one of my questions.
Through the structure.
Yeah,
So they're in the fallout zone. They're in that light green color. And that's the check zone where the DEC has to come out and measure, and
Okay.
they have to make that determination.
Right, we're not give the final
right. Yeah.
approval until we have that.
What about setbacks from the road? Is there?
The garage.
We're within that. I
Yeah,
think.
the garage comes out about half of where the porch already extends from the front of the house.
It goes back. Right?
That's one of the things that they're going to work on getting for us. Was a site plan too as well. Just a
Yeah.
layout for it, because the DEC is going to want that as well.
Gotcha.
Yep. I actually have that and I'll bring that to you, Kevin, to have you take a look at that to see if that's gonna work.
Perfect.
It was from when we bought the property, so hopefully that will work. A lot has changed since then, but hopefully that'll work for you.
Okay.
I don't have any.
So the names,
I don't have any.
Walter,
No, I think it'd be great to have a garage there.
Yes.
Oh, so it's nice.
all right, I'm gonna open this up for public comment. We are going to limit public comment to 2 minutes per person. And no, you cannot give your time to someone else. We'll start with the people present in the room. Anybody wish to comment on this application?
Holy Home, 7573 Fifth Street. I'm looking at this DEC map here. Is the dark green, is that the one that they're concerned with, or you guys are concerned with, or is it the light green? And they just need a letter of no jurisdiction? Is that all they need?
Yeah, correct. So the DEC will come out and they'll do a determination just that it's not in the wetland. Just because they're in close proximity. It's called the check zone is what it is. And anytime we're in the light green, we just have to have the DEC do the wetland determination for it.
It's all right. I was just curious what, so the dark green is the only thing that's a wetland and the other stuff's just a check.
Yep. Yep. The blue, if there's a, I don't know if I put the blue on there, that's the
No.
federal. Okay. So there is a federal in there too, but it's further in.
Anybody else in the audience? Okay, then we'll open it up to people on Zoom. If you wish to comment, please unmute yourself. Once again, if you're on Zoom and wish to comment, please unmute yourself. Hearing no further comments, we'll close public comment. Any more comments from the board? Yep. We have a motion to,
We motion without these.
with motion to,
I'll make a motion to approve with DEC approval and site plan.
the preliminary approval.
Okay.
Okay? Is there a second?
Second,
Okay. Start with Kathy.
I do have one question. Is there, since there is a wetland, does that have anything to do with the waterfront assessment form? No.
Sorry, I didn't. What,
I'm not sure.
I don't know what I didn't understand what she said.
Yeah, I'm not sure what.
No, I was asking Kevin or Bruce.
Oh,
We haven't done it for that, but if you feel that it would help with your determination, you can do it.
I don't think so. I've
Okay,
been out there.
okay,
So we had a motion in a second. Kathy,
yes,
Mickey,
Yes.
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 and I'm a yes, so it's a unanimous for the preliminary approval. We'll see. Be back here in 2 weeks unless it takes longer to get that from DEC.
Okay,
all righty.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
thank you.
You.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
bye-bye.
Okay, our third item is a fence review. Corey Smith, Corey, are you here? Yep. You'll step up to the podium and tell us about your proposal.
Corey and Lisa Smith, 8563 Greg Street. That's where we live. Actually, Lisa sent out an email to everybody. Did everybody see that? I'm just gonna read the email for in case anybody that hasn't seen it. We are applying for a new fence application at 8627 Greg Street, Sodas Point, because there was a misunderstanding as to what we believe we were previously approved for. Multiple neighbors have fences along their entire properties to the end of their break walls. Directly to the east at 8629 Greg Street, owned by John and Rita Rakovich, was the approval for a 4.5-foot fence due to their neighbors having dogs they were concerned about. We would like to request to have exactly the same thing that they have. They are concerned about dogs, and we have visitors with dogs. So this will only help with their worry. Also, we are requesting the same height and to reach the break wall for consistency within the neighborhood. Consistency within the neighborhood was one of the town's reasons for allowing our neighbors to extend their dock, and to have it the same height would look better than to have different ones. A 6-inch difference doesn't change its purpose and offers similarity. For 6 years, we have owned the property. The Rakoviches have continuously disrespected our property. They regularly pulled their grease strip and grill onto our yard while cooking and mowed the grass feet across the property line, even after we had asked them several times not to. There have been multiple instances where situations like this have happened, and unfortunately, things have just gotten worse. Placing the fence all the way to the break wall will not at all affect the water view, as they have already affected it with their deck. If getting to the water for flood issues is your concern with the property, please recognize that both neighbors and this property have newer high break walls along with us, and we will never have to worry about water coming through on the bay side in this area. If medical access is a concern for the Rakoviches, then it is simply their responsibility to provide access onto their property, maybe through their front door possibly. There was also previously spoken concern from the zoning board that the neighbors wouldn't be allowed to get patio furniture to their backyard. That again is not our responsibility to worry about, and our lot should not be treated any differently to us as their neighbor was treated, allowing a fence to the water at 4.5 feet tall. We have attached a Greg Street map of this letter with defined blue lines of fences extending to the break walls. I believe that there's approximately 40 of them, as well as an attached photos of Greg Street with fences to the water, ranging anywhere from 3 feet to 6 foot privacy fences. The highlight of our lot 8627 Greg Street on the map shows that our property is one of the smallest on the road, making it the least beneficial for flood or emergency use. Please understand, all we're asking is in good faith is to be allowed to do exactly as our neighbors to the east and what many others on the same road have been allowed to do. We're just asking to be treated the same and fair. That's it. Someone wise once told us fences make good neighbors, and we finally understand, unfortunately, what they mean. We just want consistency. That's all we're asking for.
On the height, from the road, it looks like your fence is higher than the Rakoviches. Is that correct?
No.
Is that just an optical illusion then?
Well,
I didn't have a tape measure with me, so I couldn't measure it.
yeah, the first 2 6-foot sections are shorter.
Yeah, and that's my concern, is that is not keeping with,
But it's just the first 2 sections.
but that's what I'm saying, is
And the
so,
whole rest is the same height as ours.
right, but what I'm saying is, if you want to make it uniform, then your first 2 sections should be 4 feet. If you want, because you keep saying you want it to be uniform, and I personally, I live down there, you know, it would look nicer if the first 2 sections were 4 feet, and then go to the 6 foot. Or what, I'm sorry, the 54 inches. So that's my concern. If you're looking for uniformity and they are close together, it would make more sense to me that they be the same height, first 2 sections. That's my only comment.
3 sections.
Is it 3 sections?
Yes, the neighbors are 4 foot to the corner of their house, the front corner. Then it goes to 54 inches. I was out there twice. As far as emergency, there's plenty of room to back the ambulance up to the corner of the house, keeping the rear wheels on the driveway. From there, go out the back, bring out the easy lift gurney. So I don't see that as a problem. We can make recommendations to the zoning, but all the other than the 4 foot have to go to zoning. The code says that the last 10 feet are not to be fenced, but it has become common for the last 10 feet to be a removable piece. Just putting that information out there. Okay.
And that was what was approved by zoning.
What was zone, approved by zoning earlier was a 4-foot fence. Well, we approved a 4-foot fence. Zoning did not approve going to the break. Then, remember correctly, that was over a year ago, the building permit only good for a year unless you start. You might remember Maxine had to come back and renew hers because she didn't start with her fence.
We reviewed ours.
So, comments, concerns, questions?
No, I went out to talk to Corey and Lisa today and I saw, you know, it's a nice fence. It's, you know, everybody else has it to the brick wall and it doesn't seem, I couldn't tell whether it was 4 foot or 4 foot, 4 inches high. I mean, it just looks nice. And I went to back my car out and I had no problems backing out. Traffic was not a problem looking at either way. So, and it seems going in the back, there are many people who have it going right to the break wall. So I think it'll look nice.
And require open this up for public comment.
Yep.
Okay.
My only comment is that the lots over there are so narrow that the neighbors next door have so little room. They've got no room whatsoever on the east, really. Basically, the amount that they have is the distance that the eave stretches over the east side of the house. And then to the west, it's probably not even 3 feet. So it's very, very tight. It does create real hardship for them. And I really can't ignore that it creates that kind of a hardship for them. And I get your point, okay? But I wouldn't want to live in that house next door with neighbors coming and saying, I'm going to put the fence in, okay? I wouldn't like that. So,
Well, can I ask you something? Out enjoying your yard, would you like neighbors to constantly be walking through to get to their backyard? You know, when you have family or.
I can't respond to that because I don't experience that. Sorry, okay?
I'm just saying.
It's a very, very difficult situation created by the very narrow lots down there. Okay.
But when people bought their property,
Not a
they knew those
problem.
lots were,
Agreed.
and the thing is, and they're putting it right on their property line too. So, I mean, maybe they didn't have to build a deck as big as they did or things like that to, you know, but that's their property. So that's.
Yeah.
And
No,
I know it's very narrow there. It is.
It is.
They could always take the fence down on the other side of their house that they put up. If it's bothering them so bad.
No, the only concern I have, and it goes back to the getting the ambulance in there, is to have a portion of that last 10 feet easily removable. Because if you're trying to get someone who's onto a gurney, you're not going to get over that fence.
No.
Yeah, that or
That's
having an in-swing gate or not, this would be a.
You're not gonna go
in-swing
through the
your
house.
Side of the property.
Then why didn't they do
Why
that?
don't
If
they
they
don't
were
have a
worried
gate?
about that. If they were worried about that with the fence they put up, why didn't they put a gate
You
for
couldn't get
emergency
you
access?
couldn't get down to it.
Right.
With the equipment that's necessary.
Rushan's yard is much larger than ours
Well,
to drive through.
it may be, but given the clearance on the east side, I could not get a burning through there.
In between the houses.
No.
And I understand what you're saying. What we're saying is that they could always go around the back of Sean's house
I'm just
and
saying,
use Sean's property to access their house.
the law as it is right now says you can't. We have numerous times allowed a removable section there in case of an emergency. It only comes up in the emergency. Okay.
But I would also like to say that, in condos, the ambulances go through the front doors. This is kind of that close quarters
I understand.
living, and it's their responsibility to open their front door.
I guess my concern is when there is a rescue from the water. And this has happened at my house where they actually have to come and use my land to get somebody out. So say that is happening, are they gonna be able to do that with the fence there?
Oh, they
Oh,
could
yeah, there's
absolutely
still
do it.
11 feet available on our property, enough room for an ambulance, enough room for,
But by the water is what I'm saying.
yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. In fact, the fence that they put up that is there now is the only fence that I could see that doesn't just go to the edge of the break wall. It actually goes up on top of the break wall, stopping anybody from passing along the break wall. The break wall is really
Break
wide.
wall for even
I think it's almost 3 feet wide.
Okay.
And they put the
Thank
fence
you.
up over top of it, blocking anybody from going down there. the break
Yeah,
wall.
that was it's just more, I'm thinking, I'm not worried, I'm thinking more water rescue. So if there's plenty of room, then that's great, thank you.
Any more questions from the board? Then we're gonna open it for public comment, if you have a seat.
Thank you.
Thank you for
All right,
coming.
we'll start with, in-house.
Hey, Bruce.
But,
I didn't advertise this one for public comment because we usually don't do public comment on fences. Zoning does. Still wanted.
it wasn't advertised, no.
No, I don't. We don't comment for 4-foot fences. We can do that if you want, if you think it's necessary, but we did get emails for it that the board has.
It's going to the zoning.
Yeah, zoning does the public comment usually.
All right. I will, for the record, say we have received emails, both sides of the issue. Board has read those. And I believe all those also went to the zoning board where the final decision will be made on this. Okay, so we're looking for a recommendation.
Not going to allow anyone to speak. I didn't know that we had to write letters.
We don't do public comment on 4-foot fences. We haven't done that before.
I commented on their last time they were before the planning board.
I can't speak to that. We just don't.
We started that.
It's not, I didn't advertise that way. We don't do that.
Okay. Maxine, we're moving on.
Can I just say one more thing?
One last thing.
Sorry. If you guys are worried about like the emergency vehicles, isn't that like you're kind of creating an illegal easement along our property?
No,
It's not,
no.
because the town doesn't own it, we do.
This,
Well, I guess we've all owned it.
what we're saying is, as the code is written right now,
Mhm.
you are not allowed to put the fence in that last 10 foot.
Okay.
I am trying to suggest that if you want that fence in the last 10 feet, the zoning board has in the past allowed that if it was removed. That is something that you and the zoning board need to discuss.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
we're just making a recommendation. All right, I think I'll make this recommendation. If or this motion that's permissible. So I would recommend that the fence be 4 foot at least to the front corner of the house. Then go to 4.5 foot, that's 54 inches. To the break wall with a removable section. Of course, the zoning board would be the one who makes decision on anything over 4 foot in that last 10 foot. And I would recommend that. If somebody would like to second that, or
But have we asked for removable sections in the past at the,
many times.
so all the fences along the break wall are removable?
and that when I joined the board. John Reynolds old place. That's how I got there.
Oh, so that one is a white picket fence, that's removable then, right?
On John. I don't know the lady's name that owns it now, but
Joelle,
to be John. Reynolds.
Joelle and Mark. That's their name.
Okay, and Rakovich, you're the same way, the one all the way down to the,
Wasn't approved while I was. Predates. I don't know how I got this.
I think most of the removable sections started during, after the flooding for sandbags.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
oh, you're right.
So,
Yeah.
Their fence was installed after the flood.
so, but I'm sure it was a recommendation.
That was what I would recommend. I don't know if anybody wants to
I'll
second
second
that. I will, take a vote. Daryl,
Yes.
Mr. Bill, you vote your,
yes.
you don't have to agree.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I think,
I don't know where 4 inches is gonna make a big deal.
it says.
It's what inches?
6.
Six.
Oh, no, it's gonna
That's
make a
not
big
our-
deal, but that's,
It's
all
a
right,
zoning issue.
all right. So just gonna recommend that, then, right? Okay,
That's
yes,
just a
yes,
recommendation.
yes.
What I wrote down was you motion to approve the fence at 4 feet
Right.
at the front of the house. Then 4.5 feet near the break wall with a removable section.
This is a recommendation too, so.
Okay.
Not a proof. Okay. Okay.
I vote yes.
I'll vote yes, so it's a unanimous recommendation. All right. All right. Brings you one step closer, zoning. Kevin, zoning's meeting next week, correct?
Correct. Monday, a week from tonight.
All right, so Mr. and Mrs. Smith, you'll be addressing the zoning board a week from tonight. All right?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Mr. Martin. Let's see you. You step up and tell us about your project.
Yeah, at the Marina, our gas was on the plan, was overlooked. We have a landing out there and it stated that we were gonna have the same hut that used to be out there, and then we would like to have a newer one. So I gave plans to the board that shows that. The new one would also hold a restroom facility, so that way people can actually use the bathroom out there instead of having to walk all the way back into land. And would have more space than the current one did to get our employees out of the heat and be able to offer things out at that dock and keep it undercover.
You're leaving a 4-foot walkway on the north and west side. Looks like it's the same on the south side. Correct.
The south side is 8 foot. The north side is 4, west is 4, and east is 12. The 8-foot side and the 12-foot side are where gas pumps are going. That's why there's more room in that area.
Why do you need a 2-story?
There's a lot of things that we try to stock out there, that we couldn't in the past. So it would be nice to have it where you don't have to bring it all the way from shore. You know, anything from,
Store
well, anything from supplies to first aid to, just convenience. You know, I mean, that's the reason for making that.
or questions from the board?
So is that 23 feet high, Brandon? And is that from the dock height up, or is it floating, or is it
It's
permanent?
not floating from the dock. I think the current one was around 15, right?
Where your gas stock is now, Brandon, that's just temporary?
Like today, you're saying?
Yeah.
Today? Yeah, it was just floated out there. It's on a float.
Okay, so that's not where this.
No,
This isn't being moved down that,
no.
still gonna be at the end.
Correct. We just haven't. had
All the
time.
way at the east corner.
Yes.
Mhm.
That, it was obviously an overlook, otherwise we wouldn't have needed that size of platform. I mean, that was the reason that it went through. I don't understand how we missed that during the other stuff.
Is there any reason why you need to have this whole area here? My concern is the height of this building.
Most boats out there are, you know, fishing boats are higher than that, so you're gonna show where you're getting gas, where you're gonna actually mark the area. I'd like it to be seen versus blending in with all the boats. I mean, it's a boat with a, you know, with a tower is gonna be over that.
I'm also concerned about the size of it and how it's gonna look, from being on the water, or from land. And the other concern I have is a safety concern is, are they gonna, if it's that big, are they gonna, somebody gonna mistake that for, you know, a pier or something? And I just, to me, it's just too big for that area.
From a safety concern, if it's a pier, they won't hit it, right? I mean,
You never know how many times have people hit our pier here, so.
no, I'm just saying if it's marked, that's why I was just wondering, the way you just said that.
Well, it's
If
just, I'm
the bigger it
thinking,
is, if it looks like a building, we're probably not gonna run our boat into it.
Right.
well, not necessarily. For me, I'm not comfortable with the size.
I have, my boat's landing craft is quite a bit higher than that, and it sits right at shore. No one's had a problem looking around that
Yeah,
for
but I
something that's way off land.
It's just that the height, Brandon, just says,
You're talking about,
just this area here.
yeah, it's.
I mean, just to have this, I mean, it would be nice, but I mean, then I'm afraid that, you know, it's gotta be lit up because that's what we asked for. We asked for lights, we asked for this,
The
we
top
asked for
part,
that.
the dark portions of that drawing is windows with lights. I mean, it's to reflect almost like a lighthouse look. I mean, if you look, otherwise it's shorter than the other one. I mean, it's only a cupola thing that's sticking out.
Yeah, but I don't have the measurement. I don't know what this is just the height of the, because if you want it just for storage, the width and everything is fine, because I walked out there today. And it's just this little piece here that's bothering me, and I don't know what the total,
Could you, I can't see what you're drawing, what's the little piece of-
the total, there's this little decorative piece with the stairs and things like that, and like the little lookout tower maybe.
Were you planning on lighting that cupola?
I was gonna have a big light bulb in it, yeah. Like a, I think they call it like a honeycomb light bulb.
Is there a second floor in this structure?
Yes.
Yes.
or the stairways.
But-
Yeah, I see the stairs. I didn't see a second
But
floor.
see, I don't see any real dimensions. All I see is 23 feet. But I don't know what this is, or the height from,
On the first floor there, if you see the circle in the upper right hand, that's the staircase.
I was looking to put like
Spiral.
a
right, right.
light bulb that would be like that up in the top. See, something like that would be in that.
Yeah, I just know in my house, they had to change it because it looked too much like a lighthouse. That's what I'm speaking from experience. That's was my concern.
Brandon, is the restroom ADA accessible?
Yes.
So it's gonna grab bars and it's got the 60-inch radius or whatever is required,
I will, yes.
all that.
I don't know if Brandon said it. I stepped away for a second. Those are preliminary. His architect is working on stamp drawings that'll have the ADA compliant bathroom in it.
Right,
Oh.
yeah. Construction. did
That might
not
be better.
Begin until
To
we
have the
had
whole-
stamped plans.
That's just lay out the size, the dimensions, so his guy can have a idea of what he's drawing to know what he's actually getting before he starts anything.
Are you increasing the number of pumps?
Pumps, no, no,
You're
still
running
two pumps, one clean out.
So the current one's 15 feet high, you're saying?
I think around that, I didn't measure it.
That's right to the top of the roof, then,
The peak, yeah,
peak.
I believe it. It's like an 8-foot wall.
I like the concept, I think it's great, I just think it's too big.
Yeah, it's too big and it's gonna be there 12 months out of the year. You're not gonna.
I don't want anybody to hit it.
I got that. I got that.
As much as I like octagons, if I'm a nerd. Can you shrink it down some? You know, make it a little
And-
smaller,
In height,
yes.
you tell me you got any suggestions. I tried to make it look like a lighthouse, something nautical. I mean, I can make it look like the merry-go-round if you want. But I didn't think we were at a circus, so looking for a lighthouse.
Well,
I like the octagon. You need the garage door. That's one, see, there's no not real any dimensions here.
Garage doors are,
Then what's this here, a door,
that's a man door and the other one's a window.
the window? Okay. The door, the door.
That's the second story. window.
Kevin, are there any considerations about proximity of the gas pump to the structure out there? Just something I was wondering about.
Can you repeat the question one more time?
Yeah.
He's eating
Yeah,
dinner.
are there any
I
considerations?
literally just got dinner. I'm so sorry.
Sure, no problem. Is there anything to be considered about the proximity of the gas pump to the structure that needs to be considered?
I can look it up in the fire code real quick for you, but I believe there wouldn't be on that, but give me 1 second.
And also the construction of it, is it wood, metal?
I want to decide it to look pretty. I mean, you guys like recommendations?
No, I'm just curious for code.
Whatever the code says. Fire code. If there's any restriction.
Right.
What will you be storing in it?
Like I said, just anything that's gonna be out there, and I said like first aid, little knickknacks that you would get right off the boat, you know, whether,
Oh, so no chemicals that are needed for,
no, it's not the
oils or-
store. It's for somebody that while they're getting fuel. You know, I mean, anything that they would get.
Sounds like a gas station. Good stuff.
oh.
So it's got a little C-store.
They have many one.
So this started out as a gas stack and now it's become a convenience.
Yeah.
Nothing different than we normally did before. Nothing at all.
My concern is just the height, that's all. I guess.
So I've got distance to tanks right now, Bill, that I have in the fire code. I'm not seeing distance to pumps right now, and I'm in the dispensing operations.
Okay. You might want to look at it to satisfy yourself that
Yeah, absolutely. It's just going to take me a little bit to find the. I just don't see a distance right here in the chart for it.
It's convenience, I mean, mainly. And for the users of the bay, everybody on this bay needs fuel, otherwise their boat don't run, so when they're there.
I
if
like
they
the
have to walk
idea.
to the bathroom, it's quite a ways away, there's no other marina that actually has that, you know, convenient. We've made me go through every
I don't have a
quote to make
I
sure
don't have a
that.
problem with the bathroom being out
I
there.
think it's a great
I
idea.
had to do the walk.
No, I'm just a good thing is that we've updated mine and said, hey, look, you know, everything that we're doing, even some of the stuff that we didn't want to, said, oh, no. You know, since it's new, it has to have all this certain stuff, so why not have the convenience also added to it?
Well, I know that there've been, comments about lighting. And,
Yeah.
I know that we, approved the blue lighting along the perimeter. And I'm thinking about if I was on the South Shore, I want all that light out there. Kind of, at night, it kind of ruins your view.
The lights that are on there now are just temporary, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Because
Little flashing.
Yeah,
No.
because there's supposed to be towers, so you can do them with towers, right? Power towers.
Correct, and then they're solid, and then, like, right now, the only reason why they're flashing is because we've gotten threats that people are gonna purposely hit the dock, so.
Right, but the towers you said would be blue.
Yes, yeah. And so, I mean, it's no different than the other marina is yellow, the other one's white, yeah. And when you're outside at South Shore and you look across, that's all you see is Caitlin's and.
I get it.
Yeah.
I was looking at that the other night as I was coming home. I just, you know,
But it'd be a softer light once he's done. It's not gonna be crazy.
well, I understand. I'm not worried about the perimeter lights. I'm worried about, you know, gonna light up that
The beacon.
cupola up there.
Yeah.
Got it.
Now, there was lights on our old gas back as well, I mean, that's how people see to get around.
Bill, I don't know if this is going to be the right section of code. I got to do some more research, but the closest thing I can find to it is location on property for dispensing equipment not located in vaults. It might be this one. I got to do more research. It says 10 feet or more from the nearest building or lot line. So if we consider it that, it would be 10 feet that they want. And I believe that dock is 8 feet, Brandon. That's out there. The
Correct,
large.
on that side, yes.
Yeah, so it might, I'd have to work with Eric, the architect, to just get it to get dialed in the right distance, because I don't know where that dispensing unit is out there. I'm not sure where it sits on that dock.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So tonight, this would be to approve the change work order.
It would be a change work order approval. He would need to have to us the stamped architectural plans before he can start construction of it.
Gotta go zoning too, right?
Kevin?
I
No,
don't
so we
think so.
asked,
No,
No?
yeah, I asked Matthew if it had to go to zoning, and he said no, there's nothing for zoning to approve because the dock is already there. This isn't anything that zoning would approve. They've already given permission for a boat house, but it's not a boathouse. So there's nothing for zoning to approve. We went through everything that they could approve. There's just nothing for them to approve. So there would be no reason for it to go to zoning. So you guys had final say on site plan, so that's why you guys have a say on it.
And it's not changing the size of the footprint of that corner of the dock that.
No, I left the
Oh, the can of worms.
You have the big blueprints there, Bruce. The reason that is because it has that 11 by 11 on there, so it's changing those blueprints.
You're correct, Bill. No, there is no.
So
We're changing the size of them.
Right. So is that platform already built? up
It
there?
already is built.
30 by 28. 30 by
With the dock around it, so it's actually 42 by 36.
Pass that down, so there's a few lines.
Okay.
One there.
Would you be willing just to take this top off?
Yeah, but I'd like to something nautical. I don't like. I mean, that was a joke with the carousel, but I don't want it to look like that. I'd like to do something that makes it look.
You know, but I don't want it to look like 650s thing either, where it's huge and, you know, we
Right. I mean, if you
never
want,
really
if you don't
approved
like
that
the,
either.
if you don't like the top cupola, I can take that off and just leave that squatty type of roof on. Leave them 3, so it looks like the windows and not have the cupola at the top.
Well, I'm just concerned about the size of the whole thing, because we're going from 120 square feet to 310 square feet.
Times 2. Yeah. It's going up.
Right, so
The
it's
second floor is quite smaller.
I'm just saying that when I just the first floor, you're going from 120 square feet to 320 square feet.
And that's only to
That's
get that ADA compliant
So
restroom
that's
and everything.
my concern. It's just,
You're never gonna see nothing side to side. I mean, you're parking a 30-foot boat on this side of it, a 30-foot boat on this side of it, so you're 60-foot wide that way.
I don't want to see a building in the middle of the water. I don't mind seeing boats. I'm concerned.
Okay. Mr. McKee, you got any concerns?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I just think it's too big for. Could be pared down, make it look real nice. I mean, I think the idea is a great one. Just skip it down.
Mr. Walker?
Well, I agree. I think it's a great concept, looks good, it'll be functional. I just think it's a little too large.
Yeah, it's hard for me to get it smaller, and I'd love for your guys' recommendations, any of you. But the issue is the way I drew it there, they said I had to go a little, the bathroom has to get bigger in order to be ADA. If you're gonna get, you know, anybody, I don't know if you guys have ever stopped in my marina and got gas, but if you're in that, what used to be there, you couldn't even breathe in that thing. It's hot. I mean, the kids sit out there all day, 12 hours, and it's nice to have a little bit of room to be in the shade instead of baking in the sun. And then the same thing for security. It's the same thing in just talking about, water rescues for the fence. You know what I mean? If somebody comes to the dock because somebody's in their boat and there's issues, they can literally stop there. There's a huge area right there out of the sun that can be formed any type of emergency rescue type of deal. I mean, that didn't even have to make it all the way to shore or somebody's backyard. It's right there, ready to go with emergency equipment inside it. Our first aid.
Yeah, I think you gotta scale it down. I like it. I like the concept. I like the drawing. It's just too large.
Do you like the 2 stories or just keeping it as 1 story?
I'm not bothered by the fact that it's 2-story, I think it's 23 feet is a little tall out there, and it's gonna be out there 365 days a year, okay? If it's gonna be, I think a lot of it has to do with what the siding, with the roofing
Well,
colors.
to make it look good, I understand, it's gonna be out there. How does that, what is that concern? I understand, what is that?
Just
hurt?
size.
No, I understand, but what does that hurt?
People's
My view.
visibility of it, you know, just visual.
When,
Yeah, no, I was like, yeah, the view, I mean.
Yeah.
We're used to seeing boats. I don't want to see a building in the middle of the bay.
I hear a lot of people going, oh my God, those docks come all the way over halfway down South Shore. Okay, no, they don't come down halfway shut down South Shore, but you know, that's what people are saying.
So
Okay,
is Marina.
but that's, you know, people are shocked by that, okay? I think if we plant something that size out there on top of that, it's just gonna be further shocked, okay? I get the
So when you
idea, I
guys-
like the idea of.
I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. A 30-foot boat going across the bay. You can't, all of a sudden it ruins your view. You can't see around that 30-foot boat.
It's not moves.
For,
It's not out there 365 days.
I mean, we have a local mooring area over here. They are. I mean, all them sailboats. I mean, they're bigger than the thing I'm saying right now. I'm just saying that you guys say all the things that you're bringing up doesn't make any sense. That's all I'm saying.
how tall is that? Cupola, whatever,
Probably 4.
platform?
Mhm.
Backing off, you're down to 18 foot.
Right.
Yeah,
19, yeah.
I just don't like the idea of the light up there.
I understand. I can't wrap my head around the other, you know, like the worth of it. If you understand the height, I get it. I wanted it to be seen. That's just me. You guys are saying you don't want it to be seen.
Kevin, is there any law to have a light like that out in the middle of the water?
You mean a law, like a navigation law?
Yes, do you know of?
So I've gone through, because a different resident asked me the navigation laws. OGS has a list of laws that are required, but it'd be part of his marine permit. OGS is going to have different rules and regulations for what's got to be lit. So, I mean, it's a question I can research for you, but I don't have an answer right now for you. It just,
So-
I don't have an answer. Like,
A
is that
building that big would need to be lit, correct?
would or wouldn't? I'm sorry,
Would.
would? I don't want to say yes or no because I don't know. I'd have to research it. I have no idea.
Our smaller building had to be lit.
Smaller building would have to, I would think any building would have to be lit.
That's what I mean. I mean, it's gonna be
Right,
the same,
right, smaller,
same
big.
light is gonna go out there, whether, no matter what the size of that building is.
Would any other organization have to approve this?
No, you guys are lead agent. You guys are lead agent on the application. You guys are final site plan, so it's an amendment to the final site plan.
So everything Brandon had to go through doesn't pertain to this?
No, this is above mean high water. This is a structure that is solely on your guys. It's a design thing. We had him question the Department of Health just to make sure putting a restroom out there was going to be sanitary. And there's a clean out right there for the sanitation.
Basically got two choices. And
Tell us about siding, roof, and color.
or
What are your thoughts?
Depends on what you're gonna say as far as, you know what I mean, if we're taking ahead and take something off or not. I would love to do the bottom part of that stone. You know what I mean, otherwise, and then that roof. A tin. And then above the 3 windows, you see the lines, that was actually gonna be almost like a little cable and railing type deal. Make it look nautical, that's all that was. That's why you can see the roof line through it. You know what I mean, underneath of it?
There's no access to the top of that. is
No,
there?
no.
As I was saying, we basically got 2 choices for the town to come up with a different plan, or we say, okay.
Well, since motions also always have to be made in the positive.
If you motion to approve and it's not approved, that tells him
That becomes the negative.
he has to come back.
So I'll move that we approve the request as submitted.
Second.
Second.
Mr. McGee,
No.
Mr. Beretta,
No.
Mr. Kelly.
No.
Mr. Walker,
You're gonna have to say no, Brandon, sorry.
then I will say,
My question is can't you make a motion to do something different right now? You know what I'm saying? Can't you make a motion to do it as accepted, but without the top? You know what I mean? It sounds like the height is the
Right.
biggest deal, right?
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
And not certain height is the only deal.
But the
I guess the
biggest, I guess, and that's the one I understand the most. I mean, if you guys don't want to see it up there with the cupola, that's what I'm asking. Can you do something like that? And the reason why I'm asking that, guys, is in order to open up, I have to have that bottom up thing so we can get, you know, everybody, the electric's gotta be ran into stuff. We gotta put all that in. So we were ready 2 weeks ago. And we've been waiting, so I'd hate to push it off until another meeting. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we couldn't approve anything without a drawing anyways, right?
Yeah.
Concept.
he can't start construction on anything without a stamp plan.
And his architect just needs to know scope, size. So he just needs to know size to draw to. So if he's drawing to the original 11 by 11 and trying to squeeze a bathroom in, if he's drawn to something bigger and trying to squeeze a bathroom in, we just got to know.
We do a special meeting, you know, so that way it speeds it up, so it's not in 2 weeks. Comes back with a different concept, scaled down, so that way it doesn't delay construction.
I don't know if I can, because every time Brandon comes here for this, I have to send out 38 letters to people. So if to be perfectly frank, no, but I mean, if the board, I just,
I don't.
I'm just asking if we took the top off of that.
So Kevin, you said 11-foot sides. Are they 11-foot sides or are they like 10-foot sides?
no, the 11-foot original. He has an original.
The building that's already allowed to be out there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I just need to know what to tell the architect.
You can't fit the bathroom. We could barely fit the computers in that space and cool it down without melting. So
What if you did a 6 by 6?
Yeah, 6 sides. 6
Yeah, so
foot.
that's 178 square feet.
And just to reiterate too, if the board
I
does,
found it.
Pardon me?
how'd you do that?
On the nap.
Found it at-
Daryl, if you do want to do something like that, just let me know, and I just need help, is all I'm saying. With it, just because it is a lot of work to get him to the boards. That's all. I don't want to make you guys feel pressured. It's just a lot of work, so I just need help.
And I appreciate your position. You want to get going, so coming back with something else that we say no to doesn't do any good either.
correct. That's what I'm saying.
If we.
I would ask you guys, as far as the rectangle, and I'm sorry, Bruce, As far as the base, that size, like I said, I'd like to stay that size. As far as the height, I'm asking, we can work in that. But as far as that size, that's the reason that that platform was made that size. You know what I mean? Like, it was made that way, so that way a regular 4-foot dock could go off the other side, and then you had your 8-foot and your 12-foot going around where the fuel and stuff goes. I mean, that was the reason that the landing is built over water. That was the reason that we got all that for that.
The current building, you said is 15 at the peak. Is that correct?
I believe it's something around there. I don't know exactly what it is.
Could we cut this down to 15-foot tall?
I'm still concerned about the size of it. I mean, you're going from 120 square feet to 310 square feet. And I'm just concerned about, I mean, how many people have concerns about what's happening now? And
Well, I understand that you get concerned about what's happening now. I wish they had, you know,
But it's what he can do. You know, people's emotions are, you know, we can't let people's emotions run our decision.
no, but I
No, but it's
I know, but you can't. I mean, if you,
Well, you have to look at it visually.
right, visually and, but
I
if
think
there's,
visually it looks too big in that spot.
I just
If
don't
you
want it
could
to look
shrink
like
by
a house on
third
water.
And bring it down a couple of feet.
I'm saying I can definitely bring it down.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't.
I
think that's a
can't,
problem.
I can't shrink it the other direction. I can't get people in there. I can't, get kids out of the sun. I mean, the original one was done, you know,
Yeah, but
you did
decades ago.
What's that?
7 feet, as I just looked it up, is 236
Square feet.
So to me, that is a little more reasonable
Mhm.
than 300. 300 square feet, that's big.
It is.
I understand. What is the square footage of the 42 by 36? Because that's what's out there.
11
It's
by
flat,
11.
You don't see that.
So 11 by 11 is 120.
But what I'm saying is
And I'm
when
just,
you're looking at the side of it, this is a complete boats all the way around it. So other than height, on the east side, the docks go out another 30 feet plus. So you're gonna have a boat sitting there. And
It's
then
not from that side, or visually, it's from the south.
from the south, looking north, you have going east, you have a 30-foot. You're gonna see it on the broad side of it. And then on the inside of that, you're gonna see another 30-foot. Plus, you got the middle dock. You're over 70-something feet long of solid boat. And then, like I said, I mean, if somebody's coming to get, whether they're getting fuel or whether they're getting, you know, an emergency or anything, now it's where are you going? Where do you have to be? I mean, I believe that's why people have them in areas. They have where you can focus and see that that's where you're going.
I understand where you're coming from, Brandon. I don't want to. It wasn't like that before. No other one around here has anything that large. Caitlin, they do fine. And there's no house out there. They run golf carts back and forth. So.
Well, that's because they got it on land. You know what I mean? And I've gone in there several times and didn't know where the gas out of us at all. I mean, unless you live right there like you do.
I just think the building's too big. 300 and something square feet is, and then 2 stories on top of it.
I get
That's bigger- that's
the
bigger than
second
people's
story.
Cottages out there.
Janine, since you're our
It is.
petition today,
yes,
8-foot on each side, what will that bring us to?
an octagon, 306.
That's
So
what that
it's
is
now.
now. Yeah, that's what it is now.
Yeah.
That's what he's asking for.
And that,
And you said 7 foot was what?
238.
So we're worried about just square footage or the look, because you guys from shore, you ain't gonna see 2 feet.
Yeah, but it's a big difference going from 120 to over 300.
So it's a square foot thing.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't change the visual aspect of this thing at all. All it does is make it unusable.
Why did you have to change 11, the one from 11 foot to 11 foot to?
These were the original plans. I don't know why they didn't get on there. That's why it's frustrating. Otherwise, we would
Oh.
have never had the whole reason that it went through the state to have that big of a platform is because these were the plans to have it. And it was overlooked during it. So now we're at the final hour and it was a mistake. So
If you take the second story out, you don't need the stairs. Pretty simple.
that room with the stairs is also going to be utility room. I have to run my utilities into something.
So according to, this is just something I got off the internet. So for an ADA compliant bathroom, you need about 40 square feet. Without a shower.
I can put the dynamic or the schematic up if you guys want to see that from the ANSI standard and put it up on screen.
Sure.
Sure.
It's just going to take me a second. So
Are you gonna have popcorn with it?
it was a vegan wrap, not popcorn.
No, I want popcorn. It's a weird. Yeah,
Oh.
will you get me popcorn?
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So for height, to get attention, could you put a flagpole or something out there?
I mean, I can do it. Like I said,
I'm
the
gonna
height.
approve it, right? I'm just
I
trying
know,
to think
I
of some
was-
ideas. So you-
I'm not against you guys. I get it. I came with what I wanted.
Right.
I understand that if you don't want it the same as me, but I'm willing to definitely do it. What I'm saying is the bottom square foot needs to be that in order to operate correctly. And that's the whole reason that it was designed that way. If you look at the actual thing, the upstairs and that cupola don't have to be.
Right.
That's okay. Like I'm saying, that
So,
doesn't affect
My
me.
position at the moment right now is I would approve the footprint of the size, but no higher than your current,
Right. Yeah.
Whatever it is, you gotta get a measurement. I don't think it's 15 feet. 15 feet's pretty high. So, I mean, if you do something with like a
Well,
12 pitch on top of 8 feet, you're only looking at 12 feet.
Saying the current height and then given, I can run out tomorrow.
But
Oh.
that's my recommendation
I
at this point.
I still think it's gonna be too big. 8 feet by 8 feet.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'm looking, let's meet somewhere in the middle.
I'm willing to.
What are you showing us there, Ken?
So the first one, that's what I was trying to show you. This is the clearances for what we have minimum size, and then nothing can be inside this. There's also the turn radius, which is going to be down further, but this is going to be kind of the dimensions I have to look at for how close
Yeah.
to the wall, where the grab bars have to go, how things have to be placed inside there. There's a lot that goes in.
Showing me with a shower.
You want to see with a shower?
Yeah, because this is gonna have a shower.
Right.
Shower?
So not the reinvented. What if you did a rectangle or square building instead of an octagon and get more space but a smaller footprint?
Well,
Because I know it's not gonna give you the nautical look, but
No, but it'll give you
Am I
your
pulling up shower stall or no?
Brent, do you currently have showers on shore?
We do. We have several guests that, stay on their boat all the way out there. So we were just trying to
All right.
help them out. If I'm going to put a bathroom, pretty.
Oh,
no, I think it's great, especially getting gas. You gotta.
But do we need a
Right.
shower?
well, that's what I'm getting at.
I'm just saying, somebody that is, if you guys were, staying on your boat and you're out there, would you want to walk all the way to shore? Or if you could take a shower there and then get back on your boat instead of having to take that walk, you know, in your towel or robe.
Well, have my swimsuit on, which,
They do it at Sodas Marina and it's the same distance, so they gotta walk all the way to Warren.
Correct. I just,
You know?
that's what I was saying
No, I
before.
get
is
it.
I've been,
Convenience factor, I totally agree with you.
Well,
It's a
if
great
we
concept.
eliminate the shower, we could squeeze it down to 7x7. And-
I'm asking is if you guys could approve without leaving the body alone.
And I guess we're all saying that it's too big.
Yeah.
And that's why we're trying to
Yeah.
meet you part way. And 8x8 is just too big. And, 7x7, still a decent sized building, 1 story.
Would you be willing to work on the gas tax in that for 12 hours?
You know what? I worked in COVID for 18 months in full PPE. So yeah, I would.
All right, I'll have an application tomorrow.
Okay. You want to make a motion?
Is it- I don't have a problem with this. I just had a problem with the price.
How about this? I'll make a motion and see if anybody seconds it. We limit the height to the current building and got it to 7x7. That's my motion.
I don't know what 7x7 means.
7 on the side.
So your walls right now are 8 feet, right? They want to.
Yeah, but then the garage door, you won't be able to have a garage door.
Right, you can't.
You can't have a garage doors.
Do you have a garage door now?
No, it's the regular one. I'm just, the problem with the kids that are out there is right now it's hot, so you can't. So if I could have 2 garage doors that open, it allows a little breeze to go through there and allows them to get out of that sun. So that was the reason that we did that layout. I'm just saying, in 1 foot, you're not gonna see from anywhere.
French doors will work.
Wind blows French doors all over the place.
Is anybody willing to second my motion?
I'll second that.
Right, we'll take a vote.
Can you repeat your,
Yes,
Thanks.
limit the height to the height of the current building, which we would run out and measure tomorrow. And the extra gonna be 7 foot on each side.
But again, I guess I need to find out the garage door. So he's asking for a garage door from this side for, like I said, for what reasons? Because I don't know what garage
They're
doors
6
are.
foot.
Bill, what are garage doors?
It could be anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we get to say anything?
Yeah.
I remember the town meeting where they were having a festival on People's Square.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
They want to know for the small
That's
town.
our opinions.
Kevin, is this open to public comment? Or
I can't hear you.
change order?
That's up to you. I left it to your discretion. I advertised it for public comment and when we received emails, I would encourage it just because it's a
But if
change.
you advertised it for it, then we will.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
all
We
right. Brandon, if you step off, let the public finish it out.
Wait, real quick, before you open it, were you in the middle of a motion? Because if you are, just cancel your Robert's Rules of Order.
Well,
Just,
we're gonna table that motion,
yeah,
okay?
just do something with it.
All right. If you're here, you're there with it. Yeah, don't need your time to anybody else. If you wish to speak, please step up.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Doug Wagner, my wife Debbie. We live at 8311 South Shore. I know the meeting tonight is about the building. And what's more important is nobody in my neighborhood.
I'm sorry.
You can't hear either? I can tell you from talking to all my neighbors on South Shore, nobody was aware of the size of this project or the impact it had on the aesthetics of the bay. I live at the far end of South Shore. I can't see the Great Silos without looking through this development. I've been self-employed 58 years. I started my company when I was 12, and I appreciate what Brandon's doing. I've always worked well with Brandon, and I wish him the best of everything. But this development is way over the top for the impact it's had on the bay. It did not even address people that don't live near the impact. It's 500 feet from the property line. We're not building a garage. We're building an extension out in the middle of the bay that's blocking everybody's view of that whole end of the bay and our use of that whole end of the bay. The meeting today is about the building. The building adds insult to the problem. We still can't see the far shore. The poor people that live around that are looking out to the east. They've ruined all their property values. They're ruining our property value. The project is too large, but the building is going to make it even worse. But that is the proper location for the building. It's a logical place to have it. I don't know how you guys are going to control fire out there that far offshore, what the fire department thinks about it. But there's some logistical problems with it. But I agree with Brandon. It's the proper location. The building looks like it'll do the job, and it's in the right location for what his needs are. But the people in the neighborhood are just upset about the way it's changed their view of
Well,
the
I
bay.
understand that, but this was.
And we didn't know about this. This is the other thing. You did not make this public.
Yes, we did. It
You're
was public comment for over a year.
How do you make it public?
It was advertised in the paper.
What
I
paper?
got letters from the Brants. Brants were very vocal about it.
Nobody, I can honestly tell you, the people in the neighborhood did not know anything about it.
This project
It's been planned for quite a
was
while.
over a year.
Yeah.
It was Zoomed.
So it's a great business project. I 2 years.
I got a question. Do you have anything that you could think of with the building? I mean, you're here.
I'm just more concerned about decreased loss of citizens.
I understand, but I mean, if you had to pick the building, I understand.
The building's fine.
All
right.
2 minutes.
Okay.
But I got good job.
But I'm just concerned with, the added increase, as long as the use of the building is maintained.
Pardon me.
For what was
2 minutes
intended.
is up.
My time's up?
Yes, sir.
No, thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank
All
you.
right, next.
Yeah, I'd like to speak. We live just down from Debbie and Doug. My name's Claire. My dad would be here tonight, but he's in Florida. We did not know about this meeting, just like we didn't know about the project beforehand. Table that discussion. And I think there wasn't enough time to discuss this with our neighbors. You see a small representation here tonight. I scrambled all day to call people. It's a Monday, people are at work. I couldn't get a hold of people. As far as I know, Joan Brandt and David and Bob Van Nee didn't get notified till over the weekend about it. And we didn't get notified at all. They're on the other side of the street. They're nowhere near where this building's going. We're the ones that are looking at it. It's right in front of us. And I know you don't want me to be emotional, but I am emotional. We've been here since 1942, 5 generations. And we use that corner of the bay a lot. Skiing, fishing, snorkeling, and not snorkeling, well, we do some. Kayaking, swimming, boating. We watch the fishermen. We are not going to be able to watch the fish races take off. Like we all get up early, like have coffee and watch them jet out on the derbies. We're not going to be able to do that. That dock is high enough right now where it blocks our view everywhere. Now you're going to put a building out there? There's an ADA compliant restroom down in the park that's a lot, very small. I don't know what, I think he exaggerates. Put a sign out at the end of the dock, the farthest dock, gas this way. A sign this big. People are going to see it. You don't need a building that says gas, And as far as first aid equipment, everybody's got it on their boat. I think it's required. And then what, you get a kit this big, you need 3 stories to house a first aid kit. If you need shade, put a picnic table out there and put up an umbrella. And how many emergencies does he think he's gonna get? I just think it's a lot of what ifs for the payoff stinks. Okay, if you do any motion tonight, I wish you'd table this discussion for now until I can contact more people. And we can hear more points of view. Because there just wasn't enough time.
Next. I don't see anybody in the audience. Zoom, if you would, one at a time, unmute yourself. Julian.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Right, this is Bill Van G. I just like to point out that it looks like a big case of mission creep to me. But my big question and my big concern is what happens to this at the end of the season? When all the boats are gone and we have to deal with the ice, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna bubble this whole mess? And if so, what's that do to the winter recreation and the other shoreline activities that go on? The other concern is what happens when we get a southeast wind and it crumbles all this back onto shore like it's done in the past. So I guess that's my primary concern.
Thank you. Next. Bill, please.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Did you get this?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
who's next?
Anybody else? Please unmute yourself.
You're raising your hand, you gotta take yourself off mute.
Am I able to speak first?
Oh, somebody's in front of you first.
Oh,
Nick.
I'm sorry. I'll,
Go ahead, Leslie, I think it is. I can't read the name.
Yeah, it's Leslie. This is my dad, Chuck, my Aunt Carol, both residents on the South Shore.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I came down to Florida this morning and unfortunately I'm not able to attend the meeting. I feel, and just about everybody along that shore feels that the extending the dock that much was an error, but done's done, I guess, at this point, but we certainly don't want it to get any worse. And I really believe that if Brandon would have his choice of what he could do, this would be one step towards putting a village out there. It's just, this whole thing is just kind of a little bit at a time and get this approved and get that approved. But you can, if you want to take a census from the people that live along South Shore, there isn't one person along South Shore that isn't all up in arms about this.
And Carol, do you want to speak?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
You've got property there.
Hi, this is Carol Taylor, 8273 South Shore Road. I have not been down personally to see it because I too am in Florida, but I've seen pictures of it and I've been amazed at how far out the dock has gone. I would not approve of anything like that to go out into our beautiful bay. And Brandon's a bright, ambitious young man, and I do wish his Tidesides all the best, but I think we're pushing it. We're pushing the envelope for the dock and the building. So that's just my personal opinion. Take it or leave it. Thank you.
Okay, next.
All right, Maxie. You got them? There you go.
yep, I've got it. So I have to agree with Claire. I mean, I think Brandon's done a lot for the village. But I've got a couple environmental concerns. I was just looking up the DEC's laws when it comes to well, he's already got a permit for the gas dock, but when it comes to restrooms and showers and everything above, you know, like he's proposing, I think you should look into that, Kevin, to make sure that, or the board should look into that to make sure that he is following
We already have.
New York State law on that. And then the other concern of mine is the lighting. I think it's already a little confusing. As a voter, I'm just gonna comment that as a voter, you know, I set my course. I've got a landmark that I navigate to. I think there's going to be a lot of voters coming from the other side of the bay this year that are going to be a little concerned, and there may be some accidents. I don't know for sure, but I think a flashing white light, I don't think the Coast Guard would approve that. So that's my only comment. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else?
He's over his bed.
Wish to
He's not doing well.
Pete, please unmute yourself. See, Carrie Wallingworth is unmuted.
Anybody else wish to speak on Zoom?
All right, hearing none, we're gonna. John, are you unmuting yourself?
I would like to say something, but I don't know if I'm next.
Well, we've been asking for somebody to go, so.
Okay, so I can go. My concern is that I know in the past a teenager would staff the gas dock or the gas station. And if there's only a teenager there and it is supposed to be a place to come for emergency services, who would provide those emergency services? And they're not right there on shore. So who would be able to get out there in a quick manner? Is it EMS personnel, somebody trained? Is it the teenager that is there? And if that is supposed to be a station for emergency care, how would he ensure that emergency care would be given there on any given time?
Good question. Anything else?
No, not from me. Thank you. Thank you for the.
Anybody else?
This is Richard Fassey, 8258 South Shore. And I second everything that Bill Van Gee mentioned with the bubblers. You know, we've had drownings associated with those bubblers, and now we're going to have a huge sort of bunch of them right out there in front of us. And that worries me. And the winds from the southeast, I've been there long enough to remember those ice flows breaking up. And I don't know what the insurance issues are associated with that, but it really doesn't look prudent to me. And if there is a mess, I don't know what will happen, but I'd like to have a emergency contingency plan, because every year in the spring, that's something we look at. That's it. That's all I have.
I will point out that in the list of conditions that were approved was no additional de-icers would be added or placed in the area occupied by the new dock. Okay, anybody else?
This is Bob Vanning. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. My concern is mostly about the height. I didn't detect in any of the previous conversation you talked about form factor. I don't know why it's got to be an octagon. He's apparently approved for a pretty big deck there. If he did a rectangular or a square building, he could have plenty of room and get his doors. But definitely the height is unacceptable by my means. That's my input.
All right. Thank you. Anybody else? One more time, if you want to comment, please unmute yourself. Hearing no more comments, we'll close the public comment period. Brandon, would you like to make a comment?
Yeah, after listening to everybody's kind words, I'd I guess it sounds like it should be shorter, so I'd take you guys' recommendations on that. And then if you could pick a desired height, I'd like that. I do know that the current one being the size that it is, we did plan to have it as far as the octagon. Still would like that. I'd rather not shrink it, but if the motion has to be shrunk, then I understand. I just would ask you guys that we're only going to do it one time, so we can do it. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. The motion that was on the table was to limit the height to that of the current building, which Kevin and I can check tomorrow.
May I ask, is there a way that maybe we could pick a height? Because I'm thinking, if a building is taller, it'd have to be a real flat roof if for some reason. So I'm just saying like maybe a pitch or go with a certain pitch or something.
Or I would say an 8-foot height for a wall with a 412 pitch, right? For a regular roof.
Is that what your building is?
My house is
No, down on.
that's a little bit taller than that. 412 is basically 4 feet by 4 feet. So
Basically,
it would be 12 foot. Yeah.
What is yours down there, height wise for the building?
Well, it's 7-foot wall, I think, with a 6-foot peak. I think something like that.
So around 13.
Yeah, but that's on land. It's
Yeah, no, I was just wondering roughly what it.
tall.
Yeah, but the visual,
Yeah.
it looks nice.
Your, what you built there visually.
Yeah, I would say it's probably 12 or 13 feet tall, or something like that.
What's the square footage of that?
It's 12 by 24. Or no, it's 32. I think it's 12 by 32. 12 by 32.
That's 384 square feet. His building.
Yeah. And that's 2 bathrooms, queen bed, living room, and a utility room. There.
Well, it's like, I mean, it's a good look.
Yeah.
All right, so, and the 7 by 7 was what again?
283.
238.
238, yes. thank you.
Just said.
Somebody want to suggest a height?
I mean, if you think that height is fine, I mean, you can measure. the
Did you say
building,
no higher than what it is currently?
but- Yeah,
You were gonna
that's
measure
what
it?
I was agreeing to.
Yeah.
And they don't
Okay,
know what it is.
then we'll go back to my motion, which was to shrink the size to 7 foot from 8 foot and height not to exceed the current building's height.
Agreed.
Okay. And I got a second, from Daryl, Kathy,
Agree.
Mr. McKee, Mr. Kevin.
Yeah.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
And I'll agree. Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Ryder, when are you opening for the season? When we get this bill. All right. Okay, we have one more motion, but motion.
I make a motion.
Bruce, real quick, can you clarify the last motion before you motion to adjourn? I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt your motion. I think it just,
Motion was to shrink each side of the hexagon, octagon to 7 foot from 8 foot. And the height will not exceed that of the current fueling station shed.
okay, so it's the same height as the current fueling shed. Okay, thank you.
And
Yes, sir.
this might be a good opportunity. We've got a lot of people on, for you to explain again how these meetings are publicized, where people can go to find out
Okay.
what the agenda.
Those, I'm really concerned with people who see they had no knowledge of this. Meetings are published on Wednesdays on the village website. It's a standing meeting. The agenda is published on Wednesday before. It's also published in the Wayne Times every week.
If there's a public hearing, sorry to interrupt you. If there's a public hearing.
Yes, it's a public hearing. The Tideside process was approximately an 18-month process. It officially began right before I became chair. I attended my first meeting on the subject with then Chair Ann Hasler. I'm sorry with people.
18 months ago, there was a lot of COVID going around too.
Well,
Things are different.
Are letters sent out also?
No,
For docks and moorings law, it says anything within 500 feet of the property lines of that project, I have to send a letter. So
Right.
that gets letters, anyone within 500 feet of that project. So that's why there, when I say there's 38 letters, I believe there's
Right.
literally a sheet next door, and I check it every time to make sure there were no mergers, nothing. Well, it doesn't really change, but I always check it. I think it is 38 letters that I handwrite and send out. Handwrite the envelopes. I print the legal notice and send it out.
what I can say is you check the village website and ask your neighbors to keep you updated.
Yes, for neighbors.
All right, now, I have a motion to adjourn. Dave, Mr. Kelly, and Mr. McKee. All those in favor? say aye.
Keep your little name safe.
Good night.
All right. Wrong call.
Take this.